and thank you for joining Family Voices of Minnesota's 11th annual fundraising benefit. I'm Carolyn Alshouse, the Executive Director of Family Voices of Minnesota. We're excited to share this fun program with you today and to have you meet our wonderful staff. All of our staff are parents raising children with disabilities and extra needs and live across Minnesota. They do this work because they're passionate about making sure other families are supported and have the information they need to access needed services for their children. I would like to mention a couple of highlights about all we've accomplished this past busy year. We currently have 8 parent support groups facilitated by our staff, plus a new one that will be starting this fall. Because of support from grants and donors like you, we were able to start 4 new support groups this year. Our wonderful parent support navigator, Joel, started a father's networking and support group in January. This summer, our parent group facilitator, Amanda, started a new group in the Brainerd area. Our parent support navigator, Ayan, has started a parent support group for Somali and Ethiopian parents and a social media group in Snapchat. This fall, Ayan and one of our Somali parent volunteers will be starting a group bringing families together in Minneapolis called Sensory Sundays. We currently have 200 volunteer support parents located across the state of Minnesota. We have provided parent-to-parent peer support and information and training in over 2,750 instances to families across our state. Parent-to-parent peer support is sometimes called the cradle of leadership because as parents raising children with disabilities receive support, they become more confident in caring for their children, their families, and themselves. They become more confident in accessing needed services and often want to become volunteer support parents to support other families so they do not feel alone. Families who receive support from Family Voices of Minnesota often go on to get more training to learn more about advocating for improved systems and public policy. This gives you just a glimpse into our work. I hope you enjoy getting to know us a little more through this program. Thank you for joining us today and enjoy the show.
Hello everybody and welcome to the 11th annual Family Voices of Minnesota benefit.
The Connecting Hearts, Raising Voices benefit.
Right, and we're so glad to have you here. My name's Kevin Kling. You might know me from NPR or NPR, public television, any number of live shows. I've written books and plays, appearances at storytelling festivals around the country.
I'm Joel Listman, and you don't know me. I've been an actor in the Twin Cities for about 20 years now, and chances are if you've seen me, I've probably had on some sort of massive facial hair or giant costume piece. I also work with Family Voices as a parent support navigator, helping families like mine who are raising kids with complex medical conditions.
I'm proud to be back with Family Voices of Minnesota for the 4th straight year. It's been a pleasure to highlight the important work they do supporting families across the state, raising children and youth with disabilities, and extra needs. Oh, no, they do remember you from last year. You're the auction guy.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I was thrilled to be part of the show last year, and I'm excited to be hosting this year with someone I've known for more years than I care to count. So, any tips on hosting?
Oh, hosting, yeah. Hosting's about setting expectations for the show. You want them to get excited for the show, but not too excited. You don't want them going bonkers. You don't want the expectations to be too high.
Okay, got it. So in addition to Kevin, we have author and creator of the blog Finding Cooper's Voice, Kate Swenson, coming up. And of course, we must tell you about some of the exciting items we have up for auction this year as we start our journey up to our goal of raising $50,000. Yeah, but first, we're going to catch up with 2 of the stars of last year's benefit.
Okay, if you joined us last year, I know you'll remember the special performance by Tommy Barbarella and his daughter Mariella. As a composer and former keyboardist for Prince, Tommy and the rest of his family, I'd say they got music in their bones. And Tommy and Mariella shared selections from their musical, The Girl Who Cried Different, which is about navigating school through the eyes of a 13-year-old girl with developmental disabilities. Their music, their message, and their performance, it was so moving that it really blew audiences away.
I had a chance to catch up with them to see how this last year has gone. They were thrilled to be part of the benefit again, which, with the other people that we have tonight, makes this the greatest show you will ever see in your life. Did I go bonkers?
Yeah, a little bit. But, you know, you are right about Tommy and Mariella. And here they are.
Things just started going into musical about like how a teenage girl with a disability, like what she was dealing with in middle school, and each song could be like different topic, like drama and bullying and teasing, and then some other things would be like great, like making new friends, like seeing boys that are really cute and wanting to like have a boyfriend or something like that.
You know, she has a unique story, and as it turned out, a very unique ability to write songs.
It makes me feel amazing just to know that people are looking forward to seeing me perform, looking forward to seeing me. I feel so accomplished just like doing this whole thing, knowing that people are like, oh my gosh, Mariella, it's her. It's just like, wow, I can't believe people actually know who I am. It makes me feel like, yeah, I'm famous, I guess. I don't think that I'm famous, but I mean, I feel like if I do this performance, then it will go somewhere even much bigger than what I've been doing in the past. School is okay. To be honest, it was a little bit bumpy, but overall, a really good start to high school, going into 10th grade, which is a little bit scary, but I think I'll do okay. So I work at Chick-fil-A all the way in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I really like it. The people there are great, the food is great, and the positions I do are a little bit hard, but overall it's really great. I do hospitality, which is like talking to the people, making sure that their food is good, and outside serving. I take the orders that were ordered like from the drive-thru, and I take them and I go to the curbside. So it's really good. I love the people that I'm working with there. I feel like I'm in another world when I do music because it just makes me smile. I don't need to think about like working. I don't need to think about like doing other stuff. I'm just doing like the music, and the music is what makes me feel good. Oh, Chamber, Chicago.
Let's introduce ourselves. You are?
I am Mariella Elm.
And I am Tommy Elm, also known professionally as Tommy Barbarella.
Yeah, Tommy Barbarella is his stage name.
And I'm on a stage, so.
So that makes sense.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to come on stage and dance with me, what are you waiting for? Come on stage! I've got this feeling inside of me. One of the best feelings I've ever seen.
See what I mean? Those two are just the best. And I'm really glad this year's been so exciting for Mariella. So as you can see, Mariella is coming into that age where you start choosing your families, mentors, and you're expanding your horizons. You're finding your herd, your flock, your pack. It's an exciting time in life, an important time. It's that time when self-advocacy becomes really important. And I remember my first act of self-advocacy. I was 3 years old, and they were going to operate on my left arm. And my doctor was Dr. Tippy, and he said, "Don't worry, Kevin, we're going to fix your arm." And I started to cry, and I said, "Fix my arm? No, that's what makes me special. I didn't want him to fix my arm because that's who I was." So Dr. Tippy said, "All right, we'll work out a deal. Your arm will still be special. It's just going to work a little bit better." I said, "Okay, all right, that would be all right." And that's what he did. And that's when I learned a good doctor, parent, mentor, teacher, they're on the journey with you. I mean, their success is tied to your own. And I think this is important for families to search for that help and understanding as families reach out to help their kids find that sense of independence, that sense of purpose. Families who are raising children with disabilities and extra needs, can often feel alone, lost in the woods. Family Voices of Minnesota's parent-to-parent peer support program provides families with emotional support, understanding, and acceptance. So families know they're not alone.
And when parents get support from other parents who've been there, their confidence increases. Suddenly they're sharing what they know with other parents, and so on and so on. Your gift is essential. Your tax-deductible donation will allow Family Voices of Minnesota to support more families and continue that line of knowledge sharing that is so vital. And as we mentioned, the benefit tonight also features an online silent auction.
Yes, and you can register. The auction is open until 9 p.m. this evening, so you still have time to get someone you love or yourself a little something for after the show. But if you want to come in strong and get that bid in early, there's a way to do that too. With your smartphone, open the camera and point it at this box. This will take you to the mobile auction site, and you can get everything up for the auction.
Yeah, there are some exciting items and experiences to be had this year.
Starting off, we've got a 1-week stay at a condo in Cancun, donated by one of the generous Family Voices of Minnesota board members. 2 bedrooms, gorgeous ocean view and kitchen, amazing sunsets. I've got a t-shirt upstairs that says, "From the fun side of the wall," and you will work with the donor to find a date and a week that works.
We also have, get this, there's a stay at a house in France.
Ooh la la.
Yeah, this cottage is located 35 minutes south of Paris by train. Okay, I don't know that it's south. I shouldn't have said south. It could be, it's in one of the directions. But 35 minutes from Paris by train. And it sleeps 2 to 4 adults. And the historic village where the cottage is located has 3,000 inhabitants. That's it. You can enjoy walks in the town and visit the bridge over a river and see the 11th century church. And of course, try out the local bakery. That's where I would be spending pretty much all of my time.
Yeah, kill fromage. Yeah, oh, and there's another one, a private wine class for 20 at the Total Wine and More. You pick the Total Wine location and explore from different regions around the world. Well, like that chateau you just stayed in. That'd be a good place. You can check out the legs and the tannins on that one.
We also have a Fender Telecaster guitar, and it's an awesome guitar in and of itself. But this guitar is also autographed by both members of the Goo Goo Dolls, with their super amazing hit Iris. The Goo Goo Dolls are great. They've been around it forever, and we got an autographed guitar by the Goo Goo Dolls. So that is just some of the items that we have that you can go and bid on. Again, the auction is open until 9 p.m. tonight. So if you want to go, use your phone, click on this thing that's been blocking my face. Thank you, Kevin. And you can bid on them now, or you can wait until afterwards.
Bid now.
So I first came to Family Voices when my daughter had her second spinal surgery. So that would have been 4 or 5 years ago now. I've been with Family Voices on their monthly meetings for more than 2 years, going on 3 years. They feel like home. It is a monthly group of us that we look forward to getting together. It's definitely supportive. I've met with the connections before where it's just one-on-one when we decided to do a G-tube or not do a G-tube for my youngest. And I found that extremely helpful, being able to talk to another parent and decide, is this right for my kiddo? They had a kiddo as well who was older. And so that was very helpful in being able to make a decision for me, as many parents don't do G-tubes in teens, but they had a teen. And so that connection was extremely helpful. I have 2 kids who are special, exceptional needs kiddos, and they're indivisible. And many people in this world don't understand what that's like, but Family Voices gets it. And they get it a lot. And it's very nice to have a group of people that understand my world, that don't judge what I come into every month. I like that a lot. I don't get that much in this world. It makes a huge difference to be understood and to not be questioned, to not be judged is everything. I lost most of my support system and friends when these 2 came along. I look forward to Family Voices every month and being able to pop in and say hi to the people that have become friends, that I can send a message to and say, hey, this month is rough, can we just chat? And they're there. I don't have to question whether they're not going to be there. They're there. It's nice that they also get the challenges that I'm a single mom on top of everything else, that there's another layer to things, that it makes it even more difficult when it comes to advocating for them and trying to take care of them, and then trying to take care of myself on top of everything else, that they get, there's whole lots of layers in that. So it's appreciative. Awesome. Prior to Family Voices, I was very unsure of how to chart the waters with my 2. I knew how to advocate to a degree, but I was never very sure how far I should push, like with the school system when it came to IEPs, or when it came to doctors, of how far I should push and say, hey, this doesn't make sense, I'm unsure about this. I learned I had a voice. I learned what that voice meant. I learned how to use that voice. And since then, I have not stopped. My kids had the best educational year of their lives last year because I stood up for them and I didn't back down. Since then, we have made progress with their medical history as well, because I found that voice and I'm not stopping anymore. I don't take no from their medical providers anymore. I don't take, well, we're just going to wait and see. We're going to wait and see for a very short time period, and that's it. We're going to get answers because I will keep moving now until we get answers. And I know that I have people behind me that will say, you have every right now. And I didn't think I had that until I met with Family Voices. And so those people have been instrumental in showing me how to do that, giving me the tools that I needed. Some of the classes that they've offered have been helpful with that. Just people knowing and suggesting at the meetings some tips and tools to go about doing that. That has been instrumental in showing me that I have that voice. And it's great to use. It's great to use.
So parents raising kids with disabilities and extra needs have a unique toolbox. When they're able to talk with other parents in similar situations, the number of tools in that toolbox begins to grow. And your support will make a big impact for these families. Please give an amount that feels right to you. And here's some good news. The first $5,000 will be matched through a generous grant from the Otto Bremer Foundation.
Thank you, Otto Bremer Foundation. Yeah. All right, let's get that QR code up again so that you can start bidding now with your smartphone if that's what you want. This time we're not going to have it cover my face, right?
Oh, well.
All right, so we have a couple of the other awesome things that we have. we were just talking before we hit record about how storytelling and quilting have such a huge connection, and you can get a homemade quilt. It's an earth tone 60 by 80 inch quilt that was made by Margie of the Quilt Sisters, and it's a one-of-a-kind quilt. So this is potentially something that is an heirloom that you can pass along. We also have tickets to the History Theater for a future production. Tickets to Theater Moo, the second, I believe it's the second largest theater dedicated to the Asian American experience. 4 tickets to Stages Theater. Free admission to the Dinner Detective, where you eat food and you're solving a crime. Not a real crime. That's a lot to ask. Please pay for a chance to solve a crime. We have some other great stays that you can go on. We have a winter weekend stay package at Grandview Lodge in what's that, Nisswa? Is that in Nisswa, Minnesota?
It's beautiful.
Yeah. This is, you get snow-covered trees, watch the sunset at night, spend 2 nights at the Grandview Lodge right there on Gull Lake. And we also have an overnight stay at the Great Wolf Lodge. That package comes with 4 wristbands for you and your loved ones. That's the one that has all the water slides. It's down by the Mall of America, and it's just a giant indoor water park that you and your family can just go nuts on, really. Yeah. So yeah, we have that. We have an autographed mini Vikings helmet, autographed by let's see, Andrew Booth Jr. We have Modest Brewing Company in Minneapolis, a tour. Plus, you can also bid on, this is a separate item, a $50 gift certificate to get yourself some good beer.
They're fantastic.
Yeah.
That brewery is incredible.
Yeah. We have gift certificates to W.A. Frost in St. Paul, Twin Cities Grill, Old Chicago, get yourself a deep dish pizza, Cafe Latte, home of my wife's favorite chocolate cake. I said it last year, I'm saying it again. It's her favorite. If she could marry it, I'd be out of the picture in a second. Benihana, Leanne Chin, Chipotle. This is one built for you and me, Kevin. You can go to the Obstacle Academy in Eden Prairie, where you can have 5 open gym or adult class passes. This is like American Ninja Warrior. So it's perfect for Kevin and I. Good luck outbidding us on this one. So if you want to try your skills at obstacle course climbing, test your upper body strength, that's a perfect one. But like I said, you might as well not even bid, because Kevin and I, that's right in our wheelhouse. We're probably gonna, you know what? There's 5 passes, so we'll see you there.
Yeah. All right, Joel. Thank you. We'll see you on the wall. So now, please welcome mom, author, advocate, and speaker, Kate Swenson.
Hi there. My name is Kate Swenson, and I'm a Minnesota mother. I'm a mom, a wife, author, speaker, and unexpected advocate. I say unexpected because I had no idea that I would be stepping into the role of advocacy when my son was born 11 years ago. And while my love and devotion for him never wavered, my journey to acceptance didn't happen overnight. It took me a lot of years to become the person I was supposed to be after his diagnosis. Now that I'm here, I am so proud to advocate for people like my son and for families like mine. First, I want to say thank you to Family Voices for having me here today. I am truly honored. A part of their mission is to cultivate strong families across Minnesota by connecting them with one another for support and information. And while that wasn't always my mission, it is now. I have been walking this autism journey for 11 years now alongside my son. And my Facebook page, Finding Cooper's Voice, was created to find other families like mine, other kids like Cooper. In the beginning, I felt so alone. I just wanted to find one other child, one other family. Once I found them, I wanted to tell our stories, the good, the beautiful, the challenging, the hard, because that's how we connect with one another. Now, I want to help other families. One of the quotes I often say is, isolation is the silent killer of families with special needs, and that isolation can be hard to overcome. But there is a bright light. It's families like mine, families like yours, and connecting us to one another. A person to text at 3 a.m., a person to say, I can't get up today, I can't do this anymore. someone to laugh with about all the weird, quirky parts of our life, someone to cry with when we feel so alone, and to connect with. It's life-saving. But the hard part is finding them. Where are they? When my son was diagnosed, we lived up in Duluth, Minnesota, and I thought we had the only child with severe nonverbal autism. I knew they were out there. The statistics said so, but where were they? When Cooper was diagnosed with autism, I took off running to fix him. I raced from one thing to the next, manically trying to obtain as much information as I could. Books, blogs, speeches, articles, anything that talked about autism that could give me a glimpse into the right now and to the future. My goal was simple, to do everything I possibly could to get him to be fine by kindergarten. If I stopped to catch my breath even for 1 second, the realities of his delays caught up with me, and I plummeted. I had to keep going. I had to keep researching, trying more and more. And the options to help him were supposedly endless, until they weren't. Supplements, diets, specialists, therapists, programs, the more the better. I tried so many different things, my hope rising and falling. Before I knew it, I had become my son's disability. All the hard parts were consuming me. The diagnosis had taken over everything in my life. It had stolen my joy. It had stolen happy moments from me. I let the words of the so-called professionals wash over me daily. Your child will never talk, ride a bike, or make a friend. Your child has the most severe case of autism I've ever seen. If a child doesn't speak by age 4, then game over. No one had a crystal ball. That's what you need to know. No one can predict the future for these kids, not me, not a professional. When we reached the end of the road, which happened way earlier than I thought it would be, I said no more. The world, society, me, grandparents, friends, we were all trying to make Cooper into something that he wasn't. It's hard for me to admit that out loud. But in my defense, from the day he was diagnosed, I was failed. Many parents are failed. Autism was presented to me as something to overcome. I was given a death sentence when I should have been given a ticket to a new life. It was time to make a change, but the change needed this time was not for Cooper. It was for me. I was living in a land of hope, which is a beautiful place, and I tell every parent to hold on to that hope as long as they possibly can. But I was hoping for the wrong things. I needed to hope for happiness, his happiness, my happiness, our family's success, our joy, acceptance, and peace. I stopped being afraid of the future. I immersed myself with other families just like mine. I sought out adults with disabilities, children like Cooper. I got to know them, their families, and I started telling our story, not to 1 million people, to one person, then 2, and then to more. And suddenly, that village I'd heard about, that one that was out there that I never seemed to find, it was created. I had found my people, the people just like me, the ones who understood, the ones who I could be real with, cry with, laugh with, who I didn't have to pretend around, and I didn't need Cooper to be anyone but his glorious self when he was with them. I have a favor to ask you too. Once you make it through, once you get there, help another parent. Call them, text them, go to them, sit with them in the dark, because you are probably the only person that understands what they're going through. Be the person you needed in the beginning, because you've been there. You know the unique grief that they are feeling may last days, months, or years. Be the friend you needed in the beginning. And then, when it's time, show them the bright side, the beautiful side that emerges after the darkness. Show them the beauty of giving a vulnerable child their best life, the joy in celebrating every victory, no matter how small, and reaching milestones that we are not given or taken for granted. Please consider donating to Family Voices so they can continue their mission and help other families just like ours.
Thanks, Kate. So remember, everyone, when you register for the online auction, you can opt to win a copy of Kate's book, Forever Boy.
You can win a copy of Kate's book for free. But there are more items that you can win with your generosity by bidding on them in the auction. All right, you can have a VIP animal encounter at Seaquest in Roseville, and you can choose up to 3 close animal adventures for 4, including interacting with an otter.
Oh, nice.
Like the cutest of the animals.
They're hilarious.
Yeah. A crested porcupine, which I'm sure they're cute, but you know, gotta be, that's probably a little bit higher on the danger.
The quilters would love the porcupine.
Or you can have a wallaby encounter. Or, I like this one. It just says, or you can get fishy kisses. I'm assuming, I don't want to read too much into that, but yeah, fishy kisses. You know, why not? You can also win one of the other items is a birthday party for up to 10 at Seaquest. We also have annual passes to go to Seaquest, so you can go there more than once. We have the Pine Grove Zoo in Little Falls. This is an annual family membership or a grandparent membership. Not many people know about the Pine Grove Zoo in Little Falls. It has a lot of really cool animals: zebras, kangaroos, emus, monkeys, prairie dogs, and an otter. And this one also has an auction item that is an animal encounter at the Pine Grove Zoo. You can meet the cats, a cougar, a bobcat, and a tiger. And you can learn about otters and feed otters. So we have multiple otter experiences. You otter bid on them.
Now you have to.
Yeah. You can hang out with a kangaroo. Yeah, I regretted saying it, but the dad joke thing sort of fits.
Once you're a dad joker, yeah.
You can have an experience with a kangaroo, or you can meet a 3-toed sloth.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, you get to choose from there.
Save extra time for the sloth.
Yes. Yes, that one is like more of an all-afternoon experience. Again, I talked about the Ninja Warrior Coast in Eden Prairie. After Kevin and I dominate that, we are probably going to go to Climb, Iowa, which is a large climbing facility just south of the border that caters to all climbers from beginners to experience, from any age, from a child to 100. And they provide 4 climb passes, so it's a great option for adventurous families to go out and do. And
your kids will love it. Yeah. I mean, the kids love that.
Absolutely. So those are just a few of the items. Go. We have auction is open till 9 p.m.
Wow. Thanks again. Back to Family Voices of Minnesota. So I come from a very supportive environment. My parents encouraged me to play in the band. They play football. I wasn't always the greatest, but I was on teams, I was in plays, and I was always part of the fabric, part of the community that I grew up in. Teachers, again, they understood. I remember a teacher of mine, Mrs. Keller. I just found this report card, and on the report card it said, "Kevin has no understanding of the material, but I'm not worried about him." I was like, oh great, she really gets me. And over the years, I became a storyteller because of the rhetoric, because of the way people used words around me. I started to love words. I loved humor. I found that humor really gets me through things. When I could laugh at something, it didn't control me any longer. And stories, I learned by telling stories, it's how we all connect. It's how we connect to each other. And when I could tell a story about something, it didn't control me either. There's this great saying from Zimbabwe: until the lion tells the story, the hunter will always be the hero. So it's really important for everybody, all of us, to get our stories out there. So I'm working now with the state of Minnesota. It's a video project with the Disability Hub. And I'm working with young people who are just entering the job market. You know, some of the challenges they face, some of the empowerment they feel by having a job. And I'm learning a lot from my peers, like how to self-advocate, different forms of independence. Everybody's got a different feeling on what it means to be independent, to have a voice. Okay, one of my interviews was with a young man named Ethan, and Ethan has MS, and he needs care pretty much 24/7. And he said that he just got a job with Northrop Grumman. These are the aeronautics company that's working with NASA. They're doing the James Webb, that telescope that's in outer space, now bringing back those amazing pictures. He's on that crew. He's writing software. And I said, okay, Ethan, when you were a kid with a disability, did that help lead into getting this job? And he says, you know what? He said, when I was a kid, I'd be in a wheelchair and I'd watch the other kids play sports. And he said, I could see how bodies work with each other in space, how bodies work with inanimate objects. And he says, and that is what I do to this day. I mean, I think of all the gifts that people with different abilities bring to this planet, especially in this time where nobody feels like the world is built for them. And we can learn a lot from folks with different abilities, things about kindness, unconditional love, and who knows what else will come from different perspectives. I mean, Darwin said we are defined by what makes us the same, but our survival depends on what makes us different. And supporting and helping people with other abilities only strengthens us as a group. And for families, this is the first step on how we fit in the world, in our community. It's a great responsibility. And luckily, you don't have to have all the answers. There's help right here with the Family Voices of Minnesota. There are so many ways that Family Voices of Minnesota provides support, directly or working with parents, coping with this ever-changing world.
Find out that you have your child with a diagnosis that you weren't expecting, you don't know where to turn, and it feels scary, and you feel like you're the only one in the world experiencing that thing.
Just feeling comfortable going, hey, what about, my kid's been doing this, anyone else run into that? I never really had anything like that.
And it's so strange to have other people in your house. So not only do you have this new child, but all these new challenges, and then your safe place, it's kind of like strangers come into your only safe place, and it presents a really different dynamic for your life. You do lose a lot, and it can be lonely. It can be seem like you're in a vacuum.
Yeah, early on, I started seeking out where are other families who look like ours. And I did that really selfishly because I wanted to see them looking okay, because I didn't feel okay in that moment.
And I met some amazing mothers. And they really inspired me to advocate and to give others a voice.
I talked to a parent recently who has a child going into first grade and didn't realize that they had a say in what their child's IEP said. They thought that they walked in and the school just says, this is what we're going to do for your child, and you just have to accept it.
When it comes to advocating for your child, I think that there's such an important role that Family Voices of Minnesota plays in teaching us how to stand up and have the important and the hard conversations with, different people in the IEP meetings, and your different teachers and your different therapists that you see.
I don't know, there's just so much to learn, and why not learn from someone who's been through it and understands?
Having another parent to talk to when you're going through just a bad day, or if you have to go through surgeries, or if you're just kind of really trying to navigate the school system and the, all the moving pieces that goes along with having a child with special needs, that parent-to-parent support is just so important.
With Family Voices of Minnesota, we come with these national affiliations and best practices around how to support families and how to follow up with families in a way that does build confidence, and then naturally grows a lot of parents into into leaders?
I think it's great that that's one of the things that Family Voices does really well, is to, you know, indirectly and directly teach families how to advocate for themselves, so they feel empowered to not only help themselves, but to pass along the language that other parents need to use.
These families that, you know, have a child with some extra needs come along, they won't have to, you know, feel so alone for so long. You know, they'll have the resources up front, they'll know about it because word is out there.
It's an isolating life anyway, but if you can have one or two or even three peers, it makes all the difference.
The strength that comes from, you know, talking to others and hearing their struggles, not just your own. The sympathetic ear that you get. It is an engulfing experience. For me, it was just a no-brainer that I have been helped and I will help others.
Knowing that they're still in a place where maybe I was years ago too, seeing that things haven't improved, just keeps me, I guess, passionate about continuing to speak up.
To know there were other people out there like me kind of lit a fire under my butt to not only be part of what they were doing, but to then learn to advocate hard enough that I could teach others how to advocate.
I think parents can be just a sounding board for each other. So sometimes we're trying on language or questions or ideas and want to see how other people react.
That there is such a difference. You can learn something from another mom that has lived the experience, or another dad who has walked in your shoes, that you can't get by reading a textbook, and you don't get when you go meet with your provider.
I don't know how you can really do this without others who know what you're going through. It's a whole different language.
Once you have had help as an individual who has a child with special needs or complex medical care needs, that feels so good to get that help from someone else, and then you want to reciprocate that and help others because you don't want them to feel alone.
Like I said, I call Kaylee all the time. I brought it to Kaylee. I'm like, hey, do you think this is something that could be done? And she's like, oh, totally. So now I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
It has helped me grow in a way that I can't possibly put to words. The humility that comes with it, the friendships, the camaraderie.
We know that one mind is one mind, but two or three minds is that much better. And so when you start adding in these neurological differences and making the solutions and learning how we can work together, that to me excites me for the future.
Really fun to watch families and individuals discover that in themselves, that I can do this, and watching someone come from a place of crisis, become empowered, and then become these just incredible advocates that go on to empower other people. It's just like a giving circle that I feel privileged to be a part of.
And I know you dads are leading with a lot of humor, so give us the latest dad joke.
Dude number one says, hey bro. Dude number two says, yay bro. And dude number one says, hey, can you hand me that pamphlet? Dude number two says, bro, sure.
So as you've seen from the staff, working with Family Voices of Minnesota is very rewarding. There's so many ways Family Voices of Minnesota provides support, directly working with parents.
Webinars and leading support groups, working with county and state governments.
Yep, and working with providers to find effective ways to help families.
Your support today allows Family Voices to continue their work and outreach. We can't thank you enough for joining us tonight and for your support of families raising children with disabilities and special needs. Now, reminder, the silent auction is open until 9 p.m. We have just a couple more items I want to highlight. Valley Fair passes, Children's Museum of Southern Minnesota passes, the Minneapolis Institute for the Arts. So many, Can Wonderland in St. Paul, that's a whimsical mini golf course. I love
Oh God, you got a mini golf. I know.
And we also have John's Crazy Socks. You can get a box of 6 pairs of socks. John's Crazy Socks is great. It's this, it was started by this father and son, John, who has Down syndrome, and he was looking for a job, trying to figure out a job for him, and so he decided to start a job. And they created John's Crazy Socks, and they're colorful. They're what he loves about socks is that he says that they help him they're colorful and fun, and he can be himself in these socks. So again, the silent auction is open until 9 p.m. So please go and bid on your favorite items.
Yeah, please get in there and bid. And thanks everybody for joining us. Thanks everybody for being part of this. Thank you, Joel. Way to go, man.
Thank you, Kevin.
And everybody, please have a wonderful night and have a safe walk to the next room in your house. That's where you are. And it was sure a pleasure being with you tonight. Thank you.
Trust here, just come to us. We are the people that can help you. If you need to cry, just boo-hoo-hoo. You don't need to cry anymore because you'll be happy coming out that door. You need a friend to be by your side every day. You need a friend, someone you can count on who will always be there for you. Everyone is different as can be. Him and her